a manned base on a Martian moon to control robots remotely on Mars. This is proposed by the Russian scientists. Well, I don't blame them. I think it's about time, since we found huge monoliths on Mars moons, since we found pyramids on Mars, various constructions, for example, the face on Mars, other pyramids not far from that face on Mars. There's a lot to be answered. And the thing is, it takes such a very long time to get to Mars. Now, you have to wait for the planet to get close to Earth as much as possible, because most times it's just across the sun from us. Now, academics believe that the Martian moon base would be considerably cheaper to build than a base on Mars itself, while providing for real-time control of robots stationed on the surface of Mars. A group of Russians, Italians, and American scientists have proposed the creation of a long-term base on the Martian moon of Phobos, a habitable base, and they're expecting to present their ideas to the upcoming Korolev Academic Space Conference this year in Moscow. This will be taking place next week. Quote, such a base could be created if, in the long term, it's determined that conducting an in-depth study of Mars and managing the construction of infrastructure on the planet is convenient not directly from the Martian surface, but using an intermediary manned base on Phobos. That's where we have the monolith on Phobos. And a lot of people believe that Phobos is also a constructed type of a base, a spaceship that looks like a planet, that looks like a moon. So an excerpt from the report by academics from the Bauman Moscow State Technical University and the Moscow Architectural Institute, the University of Genoa in Italy, and the University of Houston, seen by Sputnik reads that scientists list multiple benefits for a Phobos base, including its low cost, the opportunity it presents for the comfortable remote control of complex robotic systems on the surface of Mars in real time. So they'll be there close to Mars, remote controlling whatever their robots have to do. The scientists believe that the construction of an inhabitable base on Phobos will require the use of non-conventional construction materials, since the moon's soil consists of loose mixture of dust and low-density rock formations, as well as extremely low levels of gravity compared to Earth. This level of surface gravity is low enough that one could easily throw a basketball directly into space from the surface of Phobos. So for this reason, the scientists proposed several engineering solutions, including the installation of support anchors to be installed deep in the ground using the force generated by impact with the surface during a high-speed landing. This is followed by the delivery of the robots, which will be responsible for setting up a network of support cables and the digging of pits for the placement of the base modules, among other duties. The scientists proposed the deployment of 6 cosmonauts to a completed Phobos base. So after the base is constructed, 6 cosmonauts will be up there aboard a single module, including sleeping quarters, a kitchen, bathrooms, and training hall, storage area, repair facility, and equipment for controlling robots. And the next phase includes the addition of more modules to enable to grow exhaustible resources, including a greenhouse with equipment for biomedical experiments. Okay, you'll have your greenhouse, you'll be a vegetarian. Where are you going to get your air, your water, your heating from? Okay, how are you going to keep away the solar radiation, cosmic radiation from you? And there's a lot of questions to be answered before you put those cosmonauts up there. Now, Russia is no stranger to the exploration of Mars and its moons, they say. From the 1960s to the 1980s, the USSR launched a series of spacecraft, and they also did flyby probes, orbiters, and landers, providing humanity with its first detailed glimpse of Mars. In 1988, the country launched a pair of probes to study Mars, Phobos, and Deimos, the Mars moons, under the Phobos program. But unfortunately, the Phobos 1 probe was accidentally shut down by Niromi's mistaken command from ground control and lost en route. So Phobos 2, though, made it to Mars orbit in early 1989 and transmitted several dozen images back to our Earth, but soon also that lost contact with ground control. So what's going on? Very strange. The Phobos probes carried, can you imagine if whatever and whoever they sent up there also lost control with ground control, never to be heard or seen from again? Why did they lose control? The Phobos probes carried nearly 24 complex tools, including a TV imaging system and a variety of measuring instruments, including X-ray and ultraviolet telescope, radar, radiation detectors, and more. Phobos 2 also featured an autonomous lander designed to get a better idea of the surface of Mars. The Phobos program served as the first detailed mission to probe the planet, the Mars planet as Mars, and the Phobos program served as the detailed mission to probe the planet ahead of the manned mission, with a follow-up mission attempted in 1996, but it never reached Mars due to launch failure. Russia launched the Phobos Grunt mission in 2011, but it also failed to leave near-Earth orbit. So basically, they don't really know anything because their Phobos missions have all failed. The Korolev Academy Space Conference will kick off in Moscow in a few days, January 28, and it will run until January 31st. And it'll include planetary sessions, discussions, a roundtable involving scientists, businessmen, and officials from Russia and other countries. Well, what do you know about Mars? Everything you've been sending up there is a failure. You didn't get any feedback of what's up there, the details. All your instruments have been lost. Your experiments having to do with dozens of complex findings have been lost. Your tools have been lost. And you don't even tell us why all this has been lost and shut down. You think maybe there's somebody up there that doesn't want you up there? Anyway, tell me what you think about this. This is really getting bizarre. Okay, I'll leave links below for you for this. This is on Sputnik News. Let's remember what Buzz Aldrin told us, that people should get missions to Phobos just to examine the monolith that's up there. Who put that monolith up there? What is its function? Why is it there? And it's ancient, supposedly. So it could be that this is a satellite or a spaceship, because that is what exactly is described in the Emerald Tablets by Thoth the Atlantean. And again, by Plato. We have another, that's on the Emerald Tablets playlist as well. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato was told that even our moon could be a spaceship looking like a planet. And even Phobos could be a spaceship looking like a moon of Mars. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.